What if I told you that there is one tool that can create a unique design that it can be used as either a stamp or a stencil, and it won't cost you more than $5? Hi, it's Keren here, and I'm all about helping you through your creative journey to get inspired, experiment, and learn how to tell your own story through art. And this time, I am experimenting with my glue gun. I've done quite a few videos with a glue gun before, as you will see at the end of this video. But there is one technique I had never thought of, and it was actually one of my viewers, Elizabeth, that suggested it. And it was like a light bulb went up in my head. Why had I never thought of this before? And I knew I just had to try it. The premise is simple. Squeeze your glue to create your desired design. For the first one, I squeezed the glue in a circular motion to create uneven rings. The cool thing about the glue gun design is that it dries quickly, so all you have to do is just peel it off, and it's so satisfying to remove it from the mat. For the next one, I create a few circles that I attach together. You can basically create anything you want, like squiggly lines, zigzags, or even a heart-shaped design. And if you have a hard time creating it freehand like I did, you can always use a printed image from the internet. Place it under a clear glass mat and then trace it with the glue. Once the glue was dry, I removed them from the mat and set them aside. Now it comes the fun part, as you can use them in any type of project, as you will see in a short bit. But as always, since I was experimenting, I did run into a couple of problems. That's why I tried the techniques on a blank watercolor paper first. I knew it would work as a stencil because I had done it before. I placed the design on my paper and spray it. The design comes out beautiful. So I tested it on my art journal, which I had previously prepped with some white gesso, as I had glued some book pages for texture. Well, as it sometimes goes with experiments, it didn't work. I didn't get the desired design, as the spray just spread and pulled under my handmade stencil. I didn't know at first why it didn't work, as I had just done it on the watercolor paper. Then it dawned on me, don't prep the paper. You need the watercolor paper to absorb the spray so it doesn't spread. So I started all over again and took one of my watercolor journals and sprayed through the circular pattern design with my salvage patina color. And it worked. Now I wanted to try it with my inks. But I knew from previous experience that it's very hard to ink through this type of stencil, as the edges of the glue are high and uneven. But I had never thought of stamping. So I again experimented with the inks. First I tried them with an acrylic block, as they clinged perfectly to it. But it didn't work, as the design is too uneven. So I figured I would use the flat part. But of course, when I tried stamping with it, it again didn't work. However, I knew in theory that it's supposed to work. And that's when it occurred to me to activate the ink with water. So I spritzed the stamp and it worked. It looked amazing. The design looked so distressed. So now it was time to use it in my art journal. I took the stamp and inked it with Black Soot Distress ink, spritzed it with water, and stamped it in the background. I stamped it a few times across the page, and I was just so happy with the distressed look. I really love this design so much that I sprayed through it like a stencil a few more times with a few more colors. First with Antique Linen Distress Stain, and then with Evergreen Bough. But the background technique wasn't over. The key to this technique is to layer the designs back and forth until it fills most of the white space. And I love the page to look full, but you can definitely leave white space if you want to. So I use different sprays like browns and rusty orange with each design to add to the background. These colors in particular go well together, as they are the color combos for a rusty looking patina background. It's actually one of my favorite combinations, and the best part is adding gold, as gold makes everything better. But even then I wasn't done, as it's not enough to make a background. I decided to cut the heart I originally sprayed, and I even cut more hearts from the test papers and glued them across the page. Then I stamped some stitched lines across all the hearts and even glued the original heart, which I covered in gold wax, to use as a focal point embellishment. Using these designs as an embellishment is another great hack you can do with a glue gun. There's actually so many techniques that can be done with a glue gun, like in this video right here, where I showcase 10 amazing glue gun techniques that not only will save you money, but will give your projects a unique individual design.